I will change some names to remain anonymous and not offend anyone. You can call me Rex. I travel a lot due to my work, but I prefer not to give too many details about it. Anyway, I pass through a lot of cities and places, and it's always been peaceful. I never faced big problems, until that day that I'm going to tell you about now. I was heading home, but I was still far away. It was already night and it was raining a lot. I decided to stop at one of those roadside motels, close to a country town. Upon arriving, I was greeted by a man who claimed to be the owner of the place. I asked if there were any rooms available, and he, with a strange smile, said that I was a lucky guy, as there was only one room available, everyone else was busy. I got the keys and he showed me the room. I'm not the type to notice everything, but I couldn't help but notice something strange. He said all the rooms were occupied, but there were no cars other than mine. I found this quite strange, but I decided to go to the room anyway. After all, it would only be a few hours until dawn. I checked everything in the room, worried that there might be a camera or something. I locked the door and lay down, but I couldn't stop thinking about why that man said the rooms were occupied when I was clearly the only person there. I ended up falling asleep, but woke up in the middle of the night to someone knocking on the door. I was completely scared. Who would be at the door at that time? I started to ask who was there. It was Mr. Liam, as I'll call him, the owner of the motel. Liam said he didn't want to scare me, he just wanted to know if I needed anything. I thought for a moment that he must be some crazy person. Who does this in the middle of the night? He said everything was fine and he didn't need anything. For some reason, Liam insisted that I go outside. I asked him why he wanted me to leave, but he was silent. I remained alert for a while and cautiously looked out the window. There was no one else there. It was already past 2 a.m. I thought about grabbing my things and running out of that place, but I was afraid he was hiding nearby. I no longer knew what to think. I couldn't sleep anymore, I just kept thinking about what had just happened. The worst part of all was that there was no signal for me to call anyone. I barricaded the door using some furniture from the room. I was scared, that wasn't normal. Sometime later, I started to hear noises in the next room. At that moment, I wondered if anyone was there, until I heard several voices saying strange things. I'm sure there were more than one person. I heard laughter, screams, and incomprehensible words. All I could think about was getting out of there, but I was very scared. What if I got caught? What if they had done something to my car? I went to the window to look again and saw something totally scary outside. People dressed in black clothes, from head to toe, holding some kind of book, and others with candles. Mr. Liam was pointing to my room, and everyone looked in the direction of my room. At that moment, I gathered courage, removed all the barricades I had made, jumped into my car and, luckily, it was not damaged. I started the car and sped out of that place. All I could think about was getting home and calling the police to report everything that had happened. When I finally arrived, I no longer knew what to think. What the hell had happened? What did Mr. Liam want? Who were those people? I called the police, but they said they couldn't do anything, that it wasn't enough to arrest anyone, that I didn't even know exactly what was happening, and I had no proof that they tried anything against me. I told the story to some coworkers, and they said it was the most bizarre thing they had ever heard. So, they decided to do the stupidest thing possible. They said they were going to stop by that motel to investigate, and they even invited me to go along, suggesting that I stay in the car. I refused immediately. I would never go near that place again. But they were. I don't know if they didn't believe me, but they left for that damn place. I'm going to tell you their story, everything they told me after they went there. They said that when they arrived, there was no car. The man who answered them said his name was Jack, but his characteristics matched those of Mr. Liam, shoulder-length white hair, a little overweight, and around 70 years old. With my colleagues, he repeated the same conversation. He said they were lucky, as there was only one spare room, and he showed that damn smile. Then, my colleagues started to believe my words and didn't have the courage to spend the night there. When one of them said he got a text and needed to leave, Liam freaked out. He said they couldn't leave, that he had already set aside a room for them. Even though my colleagues denied it and said they couldn't stay, Liam insisted that only one of them could leave, the other was to stay and leave the next day. Otherwise, he would call the police for being scammed. My colleagues told him to call the police. Then Liam changed his expression, and my colleagues left that place scared. After that, neither I nor my colleagues went near that place again. I wonder what might have happened if I had spent the night there, or if my colleagues had stayed. Who the hell is Mr. Liam? What did he want with us? And why is there never anyone there?